And by they, she means toys. Lots of them. Dozens, if you know where to look. I'm Jimmy Gaddis. Welcome to Nostalgic. In this video, we're gonna go on the most extensive and in-depth toy hunt inside the kids' room in Poltergeist, in the fictional housing community of Cuesta Verde, California. Open up! It is extremely difficult to watch this movie and not have this reaction every time we get a new angle. Through some serious Blade Runner type sleuthing,
Hands 34 to 46.
I was able to find and identify 45 different toys, posters, books, decorations, and more in Robbie and Carol Anne's room. And be sure to stick around to the end to see the 7 things I still need your help to identify. All right, hit that like button and let's get at it. Time warp, take us back to 1982, to that haunted house built on a cemetery. Welcome to the Freening home in one of the all-time 80s kids' rooms, especially if you love Star Wars.
They wanna wonder.
Pre-Return of the Jedi, which came out a year later in 1983. Of course, there are numerous connections to a galaxy far, far away. Director Steven Spielberg is buds with George Lucas. The special effects in Poltergeist were done by Industrial Light and Magic, a division of Lucasfilm, and well, you know, Star Wars was simply wildly popular in 1982. So it makes sense Robbie would be swimming in these toys. Better than swimming in the pool. Am I right? Our first introduction to the kid's bedroom is in the opening scene after Golden Retriever E-Buzz steals Big Sis's bag of Lay's potato chips. He heads on over to Robbie's bed. All right, let's pause it. To the dog's left, we've got a Family Feud board game. Looks like the 1981 4th edition. Right next to it is Clue. Now onto the shelf behind the bed.
This is where the fun begins.
We've got a slew of Kenner Star Wars figures. Now, please note, we're gonna jump around scenes in order to get the best angle and lighting on these toys as we go through them all right? So, we've got a 1977 Farm Boy Luke Skywalker, which we also see in Carol Anne's mouth near the end of the movie. Clearly, not thinking about its potential resale value 45 plus years later. There's an R2-D2, Hoth Han Solo, Tauntaun, FX7 medical droid, Darth Vader, who has fallen over, but you can see his red lightsaber. And another knocked over figure, a stormtrooper, which is standing in that opening scene. Toy number 10 on the list, the Kenner 1981 Yoda hand puppet. So you stick your hand in there and give your best Yoda impression. Above the figures is the Star Wars A New Hope poster. Next to the Ram's helmet is the Darth Vader action figure carrying case. One of the most recognizable and talked about toys in the movie. As Opinion pointed out in a previous toy hunt video of mine, he says, I still want to know why they painted Vader's eyes red correctly on the action figure carrying case in Poltergeist, a mystery of the 80s. So in A New Hope, the lenses of Vader's mask had a red tint for a very specific cinematic reason. Comment below if you know why. But this wasn't the case with the actual case that many of us owned. It was all black. Now, unfortunately, a definitive answer to this mystery does not seem to exist on the interwebs. Some people believe the case in the movie is a prototype, but the prototype was gold. Someone else claims the production team painted the eyes to make it stand out more, which seems like the most likely answer. Regardless, those evil red eyes were a perfect touch. Under the case is a Richie Rich comic, 1981 reprint of issue number 202. Shout out to one of the original YouTubers, Corey Williams, aka Live Each Day, for identifying this one for me, as did the flip throw phenom Rocky Schaefer and my buddy Dave Stroh. Thanks, fellas. So I'll often reach out on social media for help and love when subscribers come through in the clutch. Speaking of comics, we see Robbie reading Captain America, number 259, Rite of Passage. When he's tucked into bed, you can see part of Archie's Madhouse, number 125 from 1981. Heading over to the shelves by his bed, not a toy, but worthy of making the list. This smiling moon lamp was made by Vandor Imports in Japan in the 1970s. I found one listing for it online, so if you're a diehard fan of the movie or know someone who is, and want to get something special, I've got a link in the description to the seller. The next one is one of those water games we grew up with. This one in particular is the 1976 Tomy Wonderful Waterfalls robot game. So you push the red button to move the pieces around in the water and build the robot. Above that is what looks to be a Toys R Us sleeping bag or potentially comforter with Jeffrey the Giraffe on it. Now, I couldn't find this anywhere online to confirm. I'm making an educated guess as Carol Anne has a sleeping bag of her own in the room, which we'll get to in a bit. I figure if she's got one, he's probably got one as well. While we're on the topic of bedding, we can't leave out Robbie's Empire Strikes Back comforter. Remember when he covers the creepy clown? Well, the jacket has what was likely an ironed-on image of Chewbacca. This is find number 20 on our list. Over to another set of shelves, we've got the iconic Speak and Spell. Nearby is the 1981 Disney Mickey Mouse Giant Fun Book. Below them, standing in the corner, that tall blue robot-looking thing, is the Micronauts Cario robot carrying case from 1979. Onto the shelf by the window, there's the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back turret and Probot playset, figures not included. The Probot, obviously the Imperial probe droid. To the right is an Imperial TIE fighter. Next to that is a Japanese Horikawa Space Commander robot, made in the late 70s, early 80s, from what I could find. You can see the features a bit better later in the film when all the toys are getting sucked into the closet. We've also got an Aliens movie poster up on the wall, and as the closet door opens, we get a good look at an R2-D2 and C-3PO Empire Strikes Back poster, along with a Darth Vader poster on the other side of the door. Number 30 on our list is a Bert and Ernie poster that is on the closet door. Now, it looks to be the poster version of the Sesame Street Everybody's record album, which was produced in '79. The album included songs about different parts of the body.
I have feet. My feet can walk.
Almost forgot, there's a Sports Illustrated Magic Johnson poster on the opposite wall. The guy watching Magic laid in, that's number 44. Hall of Famer Dan Issel, the Denver Nuggets' second all-time leading scorer. No longer a happy home, the Carol Anne abduction scene illuminates a number of additional toys for us. In front of the Space Commander robot that I showed you earlier is a 1970s Nylint hook and ladder fire truck. Then there's Carol Anne's strawberry shortcake sleeping bag that I alluded to earlier. Sweet dreams start with a happy heart. Aww. Ladies, recognize this box? It's the 1976 Mattel Superstar Barbie Fashion Face Styling Head, which I'm pretty sure is right here in this frame, which also reveals this strawberry shortcake poster. Side note, Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Anne, did a number of ads and commercials for Barbie and strawberry shortcake, among others. A second later, we can see the back of a Parcheesi game box, a Gaddis family favorite. As a pile starts to form in this corner, we catch a glimpse of a 1979 or 1980 Tonka Play People custom van, which came with scuff guard bumpers, sunroof, and a Tonka Play person.
Carol Anne!
I left her upstairs!
After they finally remember Carol Anne's, still in the house, Diane tries to turn the lights on using the 1980 Kenner C-3PO switcheroo light switch cover. After yanking everything back out of the closet, I spied a globe made by the Ohio Art Company. You can see the blue base with flags on it. This one potentially dates back to 1962. Winding its way toward us is toy number 40. This robot is a 1970s IMCO wind-up space robot with sparkling action. We get more to see when the parapsychologists from UC Irvine arrive. Like Hulk on a horse. This fig is the 1979 Mego World's Greatest Superheroes Incredible Hulk 8-inch action figure. We also see the spirits flipping through the 1980 American Heritage My First Dictionary. Rolling along where the Vader case used to be is a 1979 Big Track by Milton Bradley. According to Vintage Toy Emporium, it was a computerized, battery-operated, and programmable lunar-inspired tank, one of the most advanced toys ever at the time of its release. Take a look on the floor. This is a tough one, but I think it's a working wind-up ladybug toy made by the Chinese toy company Weena. What do you think? And what about this red record, you might ask? Well, hold that thought. We'll get back to that at the end. It's an interesting one that I'm gonna need your help with. And finally, after Tangina makes the wrong call on the status of the home,
This house is clean.
we see one more toy
Robbie.
before the house implodes. The Han Solo Blaster, item number 45. But wait, there's more. Yeah, a last second addition to the list. Item number 46. I put out this post on Facebook promoting the video that you're currently watching, And Teresa Campbell Ritter commented that her dollhouse got sucked into the closet. She included an eBay listing for reference. Here it is, Mattel's The Littles Victorian Dollhouse. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, nearly 4 dozen items discovered. Still, there are a handful I could use your help identifying. There's Carol Anne's toy phone, which appears numerous times. This snowman book, it looks really familiar, and I bet somebody can figure this one out. On the shelf, is that a red rocket? Stop giggling. There's this helicopter which we see on the shelf and later on the ground as it's getting swept into the closet. And whatever this is in Diane's room, I thought it might be a lightsaber, or from this angle, maybe a blaster of some kind. Again, I had Star Wars on the mind, but really, I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. Now, the last two have some intriguing stories surrounding them. First, let's take a look at that red record with the image of a car on the label. Upstate New York subscribers Cody Wolf and Jared Boskett brought to my attention that it could be related to Steven Spielberg's 1970 movie Duel, the soundtrack for which came on a red album. Yes, the label is black and it says Duel on it, but check out the jacket. We see the main character's 1970 red Plymouth Valiant. That's the same car, the same image on the center of the spinning record in Poltergeist. So it's possible this prop is an Easter egg that they created for the movie, or potentially a real-life variation of the record that's just nowhere to be found on the internet. This final one's a doozy. For some reason, in 1982, there's a 1988 Super Bowl 22 poster above Robbie's bed, which is often associated with the Poltergeist curse. Explaining it would require a separate video completely. I've got some links in the description if you want to learn more about it. But in short, Super Bowl 22 in 1988 took place in San Diego on January 31st. Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Anne, fell ill on January 31st, 1988 in San Diego before passing away the next day at just 12 years old. Creepy or coincidence? Regardless, have you ever seen this poster or some of those other items? Feel free to scrub back to the images of those mystery items, take some screenshots of your own, and let me know what you think in the comments. Whew, that's all of it. I need a nap. Maybe a drink. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to go on future toy hunts with me. And while we're at it, go see what I found in the grandson's room in Princess Bride. I'm Jimmy Gaddis. I'll see you next time.